Okay, so I do enjoy anime, and I think I've talked about a bunch of anime girls on this channel before, but I remember this one certain time where there was an anime girl, and, well, let's just say things got really sus. And today's story does get insane, so make sure you guys do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And on top of that, I'm probably streaming on Kick right now as we speak, so go click in the link down below and watch me go live on Kick. But anyways, other than that, let's get straight into this insane story. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name's Bubba, and welcome back to another crazy story. So today's story takes place back when I was in high school. Now, in high school, I won't lie, anime was actually really popular around my high school. There was a lot of people who wore like Naruto capes and a lot of people that wore like, you know, Luffy hats, or I don't really know. I'm not a big anime freak, but one thing I will say is that a lot of people watched anime in my high school. But I remember there was one girl in our high school that was a foreign exchange student. She came from Japan and she was a really big fan of anime. And I remember every day when she came to school, she wore the same anime outfits. And no joke, every outfit she wore had something to do with anime. Either it's like, you know, a Naruto headband, or for example, it was like a hoodie with like her favorite anime character on it, or even a short skirt that, you know, most anime girls would wear when they were in private school. I have no idea. But honestly, one thing I will say, it became really awkward after a while, to the point where I remember one time I decided to walk up to her and ask her a question. I ended up asking her, oh, like, do you like really like anime? And she said, duh, I love anime. And I remember awkwardly, I looked at her and said, oh, okay, cool. And I basically ended up turning around and walking away. But as I turned around and walked away, for some reason, this girl made a really weird noise. And no, it wasn't a like simple chuckle or a simple, you know, giggle. It was like she made a ooh sound. It made me cringe out so much hearing that. And I remember I really wanted to punch a wall and basically just, I don't know, do anything to make myself feel better. But I remember afterwards, I ended up basically going to my friend and saying, dude, that anime chick is mad weird. And then I ended up just going throughout the school day normally. I remember later on though, throughout the school day, there was a lot of rumors going around my school that for some reason the anime girl had a crush on me. I have no idea why, because she barely spoke English, but apparently for some reason she thought I was attractive. And I don't know if it was because I had a really good Justin Bieber haircut at the time, but I basically ended up looking at her and I basically saw her basically staring at me every time I looked at her. It was super awkward, and I remember I couldn't even eat in the cafeteria because she would literally sit on the floor above us and basically stare down at us. It was super awkward. I didn't know what to do, to the point where I basically tried everything I could to avoid her. But then afterwards, I remember one time when I was in class and she had the same class as me, she ended up walking up to me and accidentally bumping into me. I don't know if it was actually on accident, but she sure made it seem like it was. And I remember when she bumped into me, she looked at me saying, oh, I'm sorry, senpai. What? Did you just call me senpai? Huh? Now, apparently the meaning of senpai is someone older than you, someone you look up to, a mentor or a senior, or apparently an upperclassman. I have no idea, but to be honest, me and her were the same age. So when she told me that, I had no idea what she was talking about. And I remember later on throughout the school day, I ended up asking another Asian girl that was in our school. And before anyone says anything, yes, I know it's racist for me to walk up to another Asian girl asking about it, but to be honest, the only people that actually watched anime in my school were most of the Asian kids. So I'm gonna ask them something, obviously, because like what? It was built in their country, wasn't it? But anyways, I ended up walking up to the Asian girl and I ended up saying, hey, I have a question. What does it mean to be a senpai? I remember she looked at me and started laughing and said, there's no way someone called you a senpai. Yeah, the new foreign exchange student did. I don't know what it means. And I remember she looked at me saying, wait, the new Japanese one? Yeah. And she ended up laughing at me, telling me how basically senpai is like another form of like daddy basically in Japan. And I was really weirded out. Apparently this girl was calling me daddy, which don't get me wrong, my name is Bubba, but daddy is kind of crazy in Japanese. Maybe I should change the channel name to senpai. That'd be kind of funny. Anyways, going on though from there, I remember I basically tried to avoid her, same old thing, and basically tried to not talk to her until I remember one time I ended up getting an ad on Snapchat from a girl named, well, the girl's name, I can't actually say it because I don't want to expose her information, because obviously privacy is a big deal. But basically, I remember she ended up adding me on Snapchat and I found it super awkward until I ended up adding her back because, you know, I was trying to be friendly, and she ended up sending me a photo of her I can't say it because obviously YouTube might demonetize this video, but here's a hint. It starts with the letter V. There you go. Maybe that helps out. Anyways, afterwards, I saw that and I remember opening it in school and I freaked out and I recognized where she was because she was literally in the girls' bathroom taking this photo. My mind was blown and I ended up sending her a snap back saying, okay, you need to chill. I remember she ended up snapping me back saying, why does senpai not like? No, it's not that I don't like, it's that I don't want to see it in school. So then I remember I basically ended up just like, you know, not snapping her back and ignoring her, and I ended up just basically walking throughout the high school hallway until out of nowhere, once again, for some reason, this girl decides to run down the hallway, the same one that I'm walking in, and decides to bump into me. I remember I looked at her and I started like basically getting really upset with her because she ended up pushing me from behind, and I fell on my face, so obviously I'm gonna be a little upset. And I ended up telling her, "What are you doing? Why are you being so dumb around me? Just stop, leave me alone." I remember she ended up tearing up with her eyes and basically saying, "I'm sorry, senpai." Stop calling me that, is what I ended up telling her afterwards, because I was really annoyed. And basically from there, I remember she ended up basically tearing up and running away crying. And originally I wasn't gonna do anything about it after she ran, but then my friend ended up walking up to me saying, "Bro, that was not cool," and it ended up basically telling me how I should go and make sure she's okay. So as the good guy I was, I ended up basically running to her and basically, you know, trying to apologize. I ended up chasing her to the school gym, and funny enough, she was under the bleachers, and I remember looking at her saying, "Are you okay? Like, listen, like, I didn't mean to make you cry. Like, I was just upset." She ended up looking at me saying, "I can't do nothing to please you." "You don't have to please me," is what I said. She ended up curling up into a ball and basically crying and crying and crying, to the point where I ended up sitting up beside her and basically wrapped my arm around her saying, "It's okay, you need to calm down." But apparently that was her cue to start making out with me, and then her really short skirt, well, became an entry for us to do the devil's tango. And yeah, we ended up doing it under the bleachers at school. It was super awkward, but I won't lie to you, it wasn't the first time I did this. And one thing led to another. We basically did it, and she ended up yelling senpai really loud midway through, to the point where the school janitor actually ended up finding us under there, and we both got sent to the office. Apparently this was her first time basically finding us senpai, as what my principal mentioned. But honestly, this girl was like a major freak, and I will say this much: I'm happy that I decided to avoid her afterwards and block her on everything. And also, she wasn't in our school anymore because apparently the school suspended her and expelled her, to the point where I guess her parents got really upset that she found a senpai and ended up moving back to Japan. Luckily, I speak English in my videos though, so there's no way she would actually find this video. Anyways, guys, that's basically it for today's story. Make sure you do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and also follow me on Instagram and on Twitter. Anyways, like I always say, follow for more embarrassing stories. Peace out, guys.